Looking for something?
The questionable vigilante of Gotham, with her signature black catsuit, retractable claws, and the whip is back. Catwoman has been one of the female characters in the DC universe that fans have been awed with. Introduced in the original Batman issue 1, she is one of the oldest characters in the comic storyline, and over the years, she has definitely garnered quite the attention. Today, in our video, we will look into some of the few common questions about Catwoman, and find out why she might be a better vigilante than Batman, what makes her such a perfect match for the Capped Crusader, and more. Let's begin. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Catwoman? Selina Kyle is the star of today's show, and the first thing we need to know is how she ended up being who she is. As we know, in the DC universe, with the onset of the New 52 era, pretty much every character got a new origin story. So, in the New 52 era, Selina Kyle had a brother known as Aiden. Aiden and Selina were separated when their father got imprisoned. They were put into foster care like other kids, and Selina ended up in Oliver's group home. Miss Oliver, who was the lady in charge of the group home, taught the kids living under care how to steal. This is what led to Selina developing her talent for stealing. After she was caught stealing, she understandably had the repercussions for her actions and eventually ended up working for the mayor's office. While there, she used her position and her clearance to look up papers under her name in order to find her brother. But what she found was much more surprising. She found out that her identity was not what she thought it was. This led to her pursuing the secret behind her identity. However, before she could get to the bottom of this, she was shoved off a roof. But Selina did not die. She survived, and she realized that this was the hill worth dying for, because she must be someone important. When she finally decided to be Catwoman, the vigilante tried to get her hands on those papers again, but she learned that the papers had been destroyed. She had reasons to believe that this was an inside job, and that made her true identity something to be curious about. When it comes to the Rebirth era, the origin story of Catwoman has been changed yet again. This time around, Selina Kyle was raised among with her sister Maggie. Her family was not very good. Her mother was harassed and abused every day by her drunk father, and this harassment led to her mother taking her life. This led to Selina developing a sense of justice and the desire to stand up for the weak. We see that in action when Selina wore costume and used a gun to threaten the bullies who were hurting a boy. Later, we learn that Selina is not actually Brian Kyle's daughter. She was in fact the daughter of Rex Calabrese. This made a lot of sense as to why she had such a tumultuous relationship with Brian Kyle, because he was always calling her a brat and mentioning how she did not even look like him. Rex was a mob boss who lived in Gotham, and there is a striking similarity between his and Selina's features, which is something that she does not share with Brian. Once Brian passes away from his rampant alcohol consumption, Selina debuted as Catwoman. Over the years, Catwoman has been portrayed by various different media formats, whether it's TV, films, or others. And in each of these appearances, her origin story was molded and changed. Her origin story was once changed into her being a stewardess who turned to a life of crime once she hit her head at work. We have also seen her origin story being changed into her running away from her abusive ex. In Tim Burton's movie Batman Returns, this time around, Selina is the lonely secretary who works for the evil businessman named Max Schreck, who pushes her out of the window, and that leads to her turning into Catwoman. Does she have the ability to change into a humanoid cat? Despite how misleading her name can be, Selina Kyle cannot turn herself into a cat. She is a human and stays a human. The reason she got the moniker of Catwoman is because of how she was introduced in the comics back in 1940. When we first see her in the first issue of Batman, she is dressed as an old woman who gets on a boat to steal a very expensive necklace. However, when she is stealing the necklace, she steals it while wearing a cape and a cat head. No, not a cat mask that we have grown to associate with Catwoman due to Michelle Pfeiffer. It's like an actual cat headpiece. While it may look ridiculous even for the time the comic was released, that explained the moniker she went by, which is the Cat. Later, as the comics went on and her appearances kept coming, The realistic cat headpiece that she wore in her appearance in the 3rd issue of Batman was swapped for a cowl that is similar to the one Batman uses, and eventually, in the 1980s, we get to see Selina Kyle in her bodysuits, the one we have associated with her. You know, when the movie Cats came out, and everyone was freaked out by the CGI human cats? Yeah, well, sadly, there was a point where Catwoman ended up like this. This was in one of the episodes of the Batman animated series called Tiger Tiger. In this episode, Catwoman was kidnapped by a creature which can be best explained as a creature the High Evolutionary from the Marvel Universe was making. So basically, an amalgamation of a man and beast. This man-beast creature took her to this remote island where there was a doctor called Emile Dorian who was doing stuff that Dr. Moreau did. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Moreau is a character that the phenomenal H.G. Wells came up with, who basically cuts up animals and tries to make them more humanoid. Dr. Emile Dorian had the same goal, but he did not go for cutting people up. Instead, he made up a serum, and before Batman could rescue Selina, Selina was turned into a humanoid cat. This form, however, does not stay for long, because with the help of Batman and the Man-Beast, Selina is able to get the serum that would turn her back and become human again. Does she have 9 lives? Given that we repeatedly see Selina come super close to dying and never dying, it has given fans very valid grounds to think that maybe, perhaps, Selina has supernatural powers, or at least there are some supernatural things happening around her. Well, sadly, Catwoman does not have 9 lives. Now, I know it may be hard to believe because we have seen her recover from so many attempts at her life, and well, all of them can be explained away in one or the other ways. Firstly, when Selina is pushed off the window in the movie Batman Returns, we see her fall break 4 times by the awnings. Now, while the fall was from a great height, her fall was interrupted and then slowed down in turn, and that just might be the reason why we see her survive that fall. Now, there's something magical about how the alley cats surround her instantly, and after she gets licked, sniffed, and receives overall attention from the cats, she shoots up and becomes the Catwoman. In the climax of the movie, where we have Max Schreck trying to shoot at her, he constantly hits her in the legs and the arms. This can be explained by either Catwoman having amazing luck and dodging all the bullets that were aimed at her vital organs, or we can say that Max Schreck had terrible aim, and he could have gotten at least a lesson from Bullseye. However, if you look at the comic character, you see that Catwoman has extremely fast reflexes. This could be why Catwoman could dodge the bullets, but the director Tim Burton wanted to lean into the mythical aspects of cats in his movie Batman Returns. Catwoman is essentially designed after a black cat, so it makes sense why in the movie the creative approach was more leaning towards hinting at the supernatural aspect and mythological aspects of the cat having 9 lives, and her also having them by coming this close to being dead, but always seeming to come out alive. Can she survive without a heart? Now, Selina Kyle does not have a heart. I mean, it would be pretty difficult to survive and do your thieving if you do not have a muscular organ pumping blood through you 24/7. However, there was one story arc where we got to see Selina Kyle without her heart, and oh boy, that was a wild ride. Comic books are amazing overall, but they're occasionally a bit ridiculous. We still love them, but they can be shocking and surprising. This is the exact reaction the Heart of Hush storyline got from its viewers. Tommy Elliot, better known as Hush, is quite the villain that Batman has to face off against. He may not be as popular as Bane or Joker, but he has quite a unique selling point. The unique selling point is his very meticulously thought out and detailed plans. In this arc, Tommy, who used to be Bruce's childhood friend but later became an enemy because of jealousy, decides to replace Bruce. To do that, Tommy got plastic surgery, a few of those to be honest, and when he was happy with the result, his next step was to kill Bruce and take his place. Selina found out before he could get to step 2 of his awesome plan. As Selina was a witness that he could not have run free, Hush kidnapped her. So far, this is standard villain procedure. You have an evil master plan and then someone who you don't want to know about it finds out, so you kidnap them. Easy peasy. Not surprising at all. But what he does next kinda shocks us. So he carves her heart, like the actual organ, out of her, And then he uses technology designed by Mr. Freeze to keep her and her heart alive. This was quite a harrowing experience, and luckily, Selina was soon found by Bruce, who made sure she got the medical attention that was very much required and saved her life. So yeah, she survived without a heart, but only because she had machines supporting her. Does she have superhuman ability to control cats or tigers? As her alias is Catwoman, it's obvious that Selina would have some sort of soft corner or feline creature, which is true. Every time we see Catwoman near cats, we can understand that she understands feline feelings better than most people. She shares a very empathetic relationship with cats, who clearly see her as their mother or protector. This is because Selina always goes out of her way to show love and affection for the cats. However, there is one instance where we see her use her feline friends for her evil plan. In the Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane series, specifically the 70th issue, we get to see Selina's evil plan and how she uses the big cats to achieve her goal. The premise of this issue is that Penguin, the titular villain of Batman, has escaped prison again. Lois thinks that the bird sanctuary opening that they got a flyer of would certainly be the place where the Penguin would show up. So, to do her own investigation, she goes to the sanctuary. While the Penguin was not there, Catwoman was. She used an egg bomb from her trusty catbird to knock Lois out. Then using her big tiger Raja, she threatens Lois until she puts on her costume, making Lois look like another Catwoman. Using her ring, Selina hypnotizes Lois into believing that she was the actual Catwoman, and she had one goal, which was to nab the Penguin. This led to Lois also developing the cat-like tendencies that Catwoman has, as we see Lois responding to Selina's cat noises, which led to Lois being caught and trapped again later. While Lois is getting used to being the Catwoman, she tries to use her tricks on the big cats that are surrounding her, using the belt that Selina gave her, which was identical to the one Selina had. Lois was able to control the big cat. Lois is seen using the belt and making the big cats attack Superman when she is still under hypnotism, so clearly this belt helps Selina out as well. Later, when Selina is able to bamboozle Superman and get him to take her to the catacombs, Selina uses her magical wand of Circe, yes, the same Circe from Greek mythology, and transforms Superman into a super cat. So there are magical tools at her disposal that Selina can use to communicate with felines or transform someone into a feline-like creature. Catwoman's super twist. Can she truly transform Superman into a super cat? Now, thanks to the magic wand we mentioned earlier, Superman was changed into a super cat by Catwoman. She knew that Superman was very sensitive to magic, so when she saw the chance, she took it. She was planning to capture Streaky, the cat that Supergirl had, and Catwoman made a kryptonite cage specifically for Streaky. But Streaky is not sensitive to green kryptonite, because that is not where the cat is from. However, Superman is, because he's from planet Krypton. So Catwoman puts him in the cage, after she reminds him that he is supposed to obey him, which stops Supercat from protecting Lois and jumping into Selina's arms. Once the Supercat was in the cage, Catwoman turned her attention to Lois and eventually turned her into a mouse. She put the mouse Lois into the cage, and Lois was sure that Superman was going to eat her. However, when she opened her eyes again, Lois was back to being a human. Turns out, she accidentally bumped against the Cataclysm grenade. This led to vibrations being sent out to the catacombs, and Batman and Robin tracked the Earthquake to the catacombs, where they were able to apprehend the whole cat gang with the Mistress of Crime. But no one knew that Superman was turned into the Super Cat, except Lois. Lois took him with her, trying to figure out a way to save him. She considered taking him back to Selina, in the hopes she'd be able to figure out a way to change him back, but Selina had no way of changing him without the wand of Circe. Eventually, Superman was turned back into himself thanks to the mummified cat paw that Lana Lang had. This was one of the more humiliating situations that Superman has been in, and it is surprising that Catwoman was the one who caused this. Is Catwoman truly faster than Batman? Standing at a height of 5'7" with barely 130 pounds as her weight, Selina is very, very agile. Whenever she is in a fight, we see that it is very easy for her to dodge whatever is thrown her way. She never really gets defeated in hand-to-hand combat because of her fast cat-like movements. she is able to move her body in ways that are quite impossible to move for others. She is also very good at parkour, which helps her leap great heights and land without hurting herself. Selina was also trained like a ninja, and when she finished her training, her agility, durability, and flexibility increased a lot more. This is why the pairing between Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne is so perfect. They both struggle with the duality that they have in their lives and whenever there is a need, we can see that Selina, rather than Catwoman, is very good at going toe-to-toe with Batman, if not defeating him by using her agility against him. Can Catwoman resist the grip of mind control, or is it just a myth? Catwoman may have high agility and is able to avoid dying every now and then, but she is not immune to mind control. In the Identity Crisis arc, we see Selina, who is in a happy relationship with Batman, working with Justice League to the best of her abilities, and being an overall good guy, learn that everything she's doing is because of mind control. Basically what happened was Dr. Light, the supervillain, had snuck into JLA Satellite, and when he found Sue Dibney there, he assaulted her. When League showed up, Dr. Light threatened them, and that led to Zatanna wiping his memory clean. This led to Selina, who was dating Batman, questioning if her becoming the better person and the good guy was because of Zatanna or not. If it was, then everything would change because she and Bruce got into a relationship, particularly because she had turned a new leaf. However, Batman finds out that it was indeed Zatanna who wiped Catwoman's mind clean. This was done unbeknownst to him, and this explains all of her behaviors that made them closer. So Selina did not take it well, and she tied Zatanna up, gagged her, and threw her out the window. However, later we do see Selina coming to Zatanna to make herself forget about her daughter, as well as request her services to wipe the memory of Angel Man and Film Freak of ever knowing her personal information. So while Selina did overreact at first, she respects the hustle that Zatanna has and is very susceptible to it. Examining Catwoman's skillful artistry as a master of disguise. One thing Catwoman will always be better at than Batman is the art of disguise. Since her first introduction to the fans of the Batman comics, she has always shown the ability to transform herself into whichever character she wants to pose as, whether it's an old woman, a high-end escort, a waitress, or even the titular Miss Kitka, who is about to seduce Bruce Wayne. Selina has done it all, and nobody was able to realize who she truly was for quite a bit of time. She definitely could have chosen acting as a career option instead of a vigilante. Does she have any love interests? Can she reproduce? If there's one pairing that the whole Batman fandom loves, it is the Catwoman and Batman pairing. They have been lovers and fans love it. Over the years, there have been several occasions and universes where Selina and Bruce have ended up getting married. In fact, they elope in the Batman 50th issue after Selina ditches the wedding right before going to the altar because she is scared that if they got together, Bruce would stop being Batman. However, in Earth 2 Bethlehem Alternate Universe, and as we see in the second issue of Batman Annual Volume 3, Selina and Batman do end up getting married. In the Earth 2 world, they have a child together. Her name is Helena, and she trains to be like her father and ends up taking the mantle of the Huntress. Yes, the heroine with a crossbow on her arm. In the main DC continuity, Selina does have a daughter named Helena, but she is not Bruce's child, and neither does she take up the role of Huntress. Selina puts Helena up for adoption and then asks Zatanna to remove Helena from her memories. Is she immortal? Even though it is implied that Catwoman has 9 lives, she actually does not, and we have seen our dear Selina Kyle die several times over the various story arcs explored over the years. When Selina runs away from their wedding, Bruce is trapped in this dream world where the only way he can step out of it is by watching Selina die in his arms. In the Earth 2 timeline, where they were married and had a kid, Selina died protecting the whereabouts of her daughter, Helena, when she was attacked by Per Degaton, who killed off Bruce Wayne earlier. In the Golden Age time, however, it seems that Selina passed away peacefully after years of marriage with Bruce. In the Batman Catwoman special issue, we see Selina get gunned down for pearls just like Bruce's parents were, which hits the viewers with the bleak reality that nothing Bruce did as Batman has changed Gotham in the slightest. In each of these instances, Selina's death is quite significant in their own way.
But a kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it.
Marvelous verdict. Selina Kyle has been the queen of crime in Gotham, but somewhere in her adventures and misadventures, Selina has quickly climbed up the ladder and ended up becoming the queen in the fans' hearts as well. With amazing actors like Michelle Pfeiffer, Anne Hathaway, Halle Berry, and now Zoe Kravitz playing the role of Catwoman, we can expect her to charm her way into the hearts of new fans as well. And if you like our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.